Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're going to be covering a guide for Zenyte. We're going to be killing Zulrah. This is mainly targeted towards the newer players that are trying to maybe luck out and get a pretty good drop when they're first starting playing the server. You know, soon I'm going to make a money making guide as well for newer players. But right now what I'm going to show you isn't very expensive to do, and pretty much anyone can do it. I'll try my best to break down all the rotations that Zulrah has on Zenyte. And first things first, we're going to get started with the gear. Obviously, I'm not going to show you what this gear is yet. I'll show you guys the cheapest gear you can do Zulrah in. I'd say you need about 1.5 mil cash just to get started. So once you've, acquired 1.5 mil cash, you can get that pretty much doing anything via thieving or whatever. 1 to 99 thieving should give you, plenty of cash just to get started with this, and you get a 99 in the process. So let's jump into the welfare gear setup, and we'll move up into the gear that I'm in right now, which is by no means the best in slot, but I'll try to make this as easy as I can for you guys, and I hope this helps a lot. Alright guys, so for the low tier setup, so if you're struggling for cash and you just want to get on Zulrah and you want to make some cash, this is the gear that I recommend using. It's nothing spectacular, but if you pay attention to the guide, then your gear won't really matter as long as you know the mechanics of the fight. So basically the gear that we have right here is just regular mystics that I bought from the magic shop located at home. You can speak to Dalius and buy it from her. So basically the gear is a Trident of the Seas. That's why I said you need a little startup cash before you decide to try to do this, because it's a pain to do it with ice barrage, and Trident of the Seas is good until you can get yourself a toxic trident. So yeah, for the amulet you can substitute the Fury with a glory. I recommend having a god cape, mystic gloves and boots. If you have like infinity, you could use that. I recommend Barrow's gloves. For the shield you can use the unholy book if you have it completed for the extra magic bonus as well as range bonus. That's pretty good. Arrows, you can use rune arrows if you want. I prefer amethyst just because of the they hit like a truck, so honestly I just prefer them over anything else, and I had a little cash to spare. Obviously you're going to want to wear a ring of recoil to kill the little snakelings that spawn. Keep one in your inventory too, so once you get this down you can do more than one kill, and all you have to do is restock your ring of recoils and stuff like that. For your range setup, I'm going to be taking a MSB, Black D'hide, and Avas, which is perfectly fine. It's not going to get you the fastest kills in the world, but it will get you kills. For potions, I usually bring 2 super restores, 1 anti-venom. If you don't have a Serp Helm will protect you from the venom. Bring a magic potion and a ranging potion, and then you don't have to have the best food in the world. At first you're going to eat a lot, because if it's like your first time doing Zulrah, it can be a little tedious. And then obviously I just have some cash in my inventory. Basically all the gear that I bought from the shops cost me about, well, I had like $1 mil in my stack, and then I just spent that much on gear for the video. And there's no fee to get your items back if you die at Zulrah, so that's pretty convenient as well. You just walk back, talk to the lady, collect your items, rinse and repeat if you die. It is a learning experience when you're doing this, so don't get discouraged if you can't do it right away. My idea of this guide is to make it where you can do it pretty successfully. So now we'll move on to the gear that I use, which is I'd say an intermediate gear setup. I obviously can't afford the max tier setup, but what I use works pretty well. Alright guys, so this is the gear that I use. Also, you can also use the Void set. It's a smaller swap if you're not good at swapping your gear, but Void is also really doable. All you have to do is just bring your anti-venom. They run about 17k a piece on the Grand Exchange. For this setup, I just didn't take my anti-venom out of inventory. You do not need it if you have this setup. So I'm obviously didn't put my Barrow's gloves on, but I would be using Barrow's gloves. I use infinity boots, Arams, the toxic or the Trident of the Seas, unholy book, Serp Helm, just like before amethyst arrows, but I'm using a Fury, the God Cape, Ring of Recoil. If you have cash, you can use Ring of Suffering. You can the gear tier goes up so high, but for what we're using is just what I can afford at this moment and what is working for me. With this setup, I can also do Zulrah on mobile. Honestly, my fastest kill in this gear, I think it's like a 220 or something like that. So, you know, it's nothing crazy. It just depends on your RNG, what you're gonna hit. For the range swap, just right into Carol's with the MSB, with Amethyst arrows. It hits pretty decent. You know, your MSB can whack out 25s. I mean, by no means is it a blowpipe. Once you get a blowpipe, your kills will go up greatly. How many kills you can get in inventory, and also the speed of them, if your blowpipe decides to give you decent RNG. But guys, the inventory stays the same as far as what food and potions to bring. It's nothing crazy that you have to overdo. Just remember that you're learning, and once you get good at it, you can kill them. You know, I've gotten 3 to 4 kills in one inventory, as long as I don't mess up certain phases. But everybody messes up. It's just human nature. So anyway, guys, we're going to get into this, and we're going to show you guys the rotations that you're going to want to know. I might not exactly explain them all, but I will show you guys me doing at least one of every rotation. All right, so one other thing that I should, you know, add. If you don't feel like using the fairy ring and the agility shortcut, you can buy a Zulrah teleport scroll, or you can donate for them on the store on the Zenyte website. And this basically will allow you to teleport basically directly outside of where you would enter into Zulrah. So, you know, if you want to spend the extra 2 mil to make your runs faster, go right on ahead. But basically, when you have that, you want to head over to the Zenyte portal, go to bosses, and then go down to Zulrah. Click that, and then you'll be teleported right to this area. Some things you should know before you enter. All right, what you want to do is you want to pot up, turn on your protect from range and your mystic might, because what you're going to be hitting with first is the trident of the seas every time, because it's going to be the range, and the range is weak to magic. And then when I'll explain this right now. So green is going to be, if he turns green, you're going to hit with your magic spell. If he goes blue, you're going to hit with your range spell, or not range spell, but your range attack. Oops, sorry, I've been drinking a little bit, but hey. And if he goes red, normally I just always go back to the magic attack as well. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. But all right, let's go ahead and get into this first kill, and I'll kind of walk you through what's going on. All right, now before we get into this, just know I'm not no professional Zulrah killer, but I can do it pretty efficiently, okay? So if I mess up, then I mess up. If not, I'm still gonna try my best to explain it. So anyway, like I said, you're gonna wanna pot up real fast. Boom, pot up, protect from range, mystic might, hop in. All right, so as you see your map here, you wanna go to the top right side, like this, and then you wanna hit Zulrah. Okay, I like to stand in this little square right here, just right on the edge, because the poison will pretty much fill all of this area right up to right next to you. So just get as much DPS as you can in for free, and see what his next thing is. So he went to the melee phase. So the melee phase is going to work like this. So you see he's going to rear this way. If he does that, you want to run over here, and then you want to give him a time to target you again. And once he starts to lean forward like that, or run back to where you came from, then he won't hit you. If you do this wrong, he'll hit you and stun you. And now he's going to switch phase to the blue phase, which is weak to range. And you basically just kind of move over to this side, because that side is going to be full of poison eventually, and you don't want to get stuck in that. If you don't have your anti-venom, you might get poisoned. So basically he's going back to green, so you just start hitting with your magic spell again. You can do the whole mystic might eagle eye flicking thing. It does kind of help if you're doing it with range and you have a BP. It definitely will make you do more DPS. So you just wait on his next phase. He's back there. Do your little gear swap really fast. Start DPSing some more. Spec if you have it. MSB is pretty nice. As you guys can see, I hit 24 plus 8 there with MSB spec. And then I just kind of walk my way back this way. This is something you'll just kind of get a feel for. You just kind of start walking, because you throw these little venom pools, and you don't want to get stuck in them like that. But if you do, I mean, if you're not doing terrible, then you'll have some food. So as you can see, I kind of baited him to face that way and swing. He missed me. Now he's going to turn this way. I'm going to run right over here. So he misses me again. Then start DPSing. You can DPS in between that as well if you'd like to. Now he's going to turn back green. So you want to protect from range. Turn your mystic might. Keep hitting with the magic spells. And then when he runs that way, you just kind of run back over towards the middle. he's blue, attack with range. So you gotta watch out for the blue phase because it's supposed to be magic, which is the fireball, but sometimes he will throw range attacks at you and they can hit kind of hard. So like that, I got hit for 34 even though I was praying it was a range attack. And now he's gonna come back here. You kind of get the feel for this after you've done it a few times. Like I said, the rotation is going to change, but the way your character is going to move is never going to change. And also Zulrah has this thing which is called Jad phase, which is basically what he's doing right now, and I should probably be player swapping. So as you can see, I didn't know I was that far into the fight, but basically pay attention to this part because this part will get you killed a lot and you're gonna be like, what happened? Obviously this kill is pretty ugly because I just got stuck over here trying to explain. But I'm not exactly sure when it's going to happen, but you'll try to get the feel of it after you get killed a few times, that when you're doing Zulrah, the Jad phase is when he rotates from range to magic off of his you know, whatever specified phase he's supposed to be in. So if he's like green, like you've seen there, he was in the green phase and he was attacking me with range and then mage, range and then mage. So all you have to do is just flick back and forth while you're doing that. You know, you just get a feel for his pattern. You'll kind of already get the feel of it after a few times. Sometimes you can tank it, but it's recommended to not tank it because those can hit up to like 40 plus. And that's the last thing you want to do is get low HP and then you can't heal enough because a monkfish only heals 16 HP. So if you're down to like, you know, 15 HP trying to eat your way up with monkfish, may the RNG gods be in your favor and hopefully you don't get one-shotted. But as you can see there, pretty much we started here on this little side. Every time you're going to go here, you're going to stand on this little edge, you're going to DPS, and then, you know, he's either going to spawn in the middle again or he's going to spawn on the left. And then you adjust to whatever color he is, attack with his weakness. Just keep in mind if he is blue, then mage isn't going to do anything to him. It's pretty much immunity to it. So you're going to want to always attack with range if he's blue. And if he's green, always attack with magic. If he's red, you can attack with magic as well. I find that has the best results for me. I said I was going to put a clip of every kill in here, but at the same time, this is something that I will try to break down further, but right now this is just a basic guide on how you're going to kill Zulrah. Just know that, you know, if you stood over here too long, you're probably wrong. You should probably go over to this side because this side will eventually get filled with poison, and you just want to avoid the poison. And as you've done this a few times, you'll get the feel of how it actually should work. You know, no matter what color he changes, you're always going to know the weakness to hit him with. Just avoid the venom pools, have your ring of recoil so the snakelings don't, you know, like just don't let there be a ton of snakelings hitting you basically. And the ring of recoil is there to prevent extra damage that you don't need to take. You're going to take some damage, but as soon as they hit, they only have 1 HP, they're going to die instantly. But I know this guide wasn't super in depth. You know, it's just a kind of get you a warm and fuzzy about how to kill Zulrah. You know, like I said, just attack with the weaknesses and you'll be fine. Just keep moving, don't stand in the venom pools, and you know, the meleeer, just make sure he locks onto you. If he does, like I said, say he's locking on this way, then just walk a square away, or you know, a couple squares away. And as you see in the beginning how I kind of just walked here and then right here after he locked on, it's perfectly fine, he won't hit you. So basically guys, I hope you enjoyed this guide. I know it was super simple and not super in depth, but you know, I have things I have to do and I just decided I'd push out a quick guide just to help some people that are maybe struggling with Zulrah. Just follow the steps. When I first started doing this, you know, I was terrible at it, but if you need any further, you know, in-depth like explanation, there's a lot of good guides on you know, YouTube from OSRS. This was just my basic like how to kill Zulrah. You know, I only ate like a few food and I messed up, so it's pretty simple. I mean, I can do it on mobile. Once you've learned it, like it's very simple to do this boss. And you know, you can get a blowpipe which is worth like 50 plus mil, or you can keep it and use it to keep farming Zulrah. You know, maybe get some Serp helms. My Serp helmet I got, I think, was going for like 16 mil on the trading post or the auction house, whatever you want to call it, the GE. It was going for about, you know, 16 mil. So you know, it's if you get a good drop from here, it's always going to be worth it. But anyway, guys, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I'm a little, tipsy-ish, so I might have said a few things wrong, but I hope you guys got exactly what I was trying to explain. And if I pronounce anything, hey, it happens. Have a great day or night, whatever time it is that you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next guide. Also, if you have any recommendations, please put them in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to try to make a guide on them. When I have more time, the guides will be more in depth, but I don't really think that Zulrah was a guide that required all the time to have a super in-depth explanation. I showed you guys the gear, I showed you how to kill them, and that's pretty much it. You learn as you go. If I explained everything, it would be too overwhelming. I explained the basic mechanics just to get you guys, like I said, a warm and fuzzy on how to kill them. So anyway, enjoy your night or day. I'll see you around.